I'd just like to say a very big welcome to all of you to this webinar. Great turnout. Webinar that's been organised by Mary Cousins, our new Membership and County Membership Development Officer, along with other members of staff who are here, including Sam Kelly, Jonathan Lillycrop and Harry Watson. The idea is not only for them to pass on information to you, but also for all of you to share information too. So there will be opportunities for people to share the successes and possibly slightly less successful ideas that you've had, best practice to be shared amongst all of you. So having said that brief introduction, I'll pass you on to Mary, who's going to start us off. Mary Cousins.
Right, hello everybody. As Gordon said, I'm Mary Cousins, the County Membership Development Officer for the EBU. So my job is to help counties, to help you to develop your membership. Now, I've run through a few things that we're doing with that in mind. My primary objective at the moment is to make sure that every beginner class starts as full as it possibly can. So I've broken it down into 6 steps, and here we go. The first one is to identify autumn beginner classes, and I've been talking to a lot of you, and we've gathered probably about 40 classes around the country. The next step will be to promote these nationally as a collection. Here's your chance to learn bridge, that kind of thing. So these are some of the locations where we've got bridge clubs starting beginner classes in the autumn. As you can see, we've got quite a lot in September, got a few in October. I would quite like to double or triple this number of locations, because I'm sure most clubs that teach, or most teachers that teach, will have a class starting in the autumn, and I'd love to include all of those. So after this meeting, if you can let me know the date and location of your beginner class, I'll add it. If you don't have a beginner class starting, I can put in a taster session or an open day. Yeah, so I've created a Google form to help you send me the details. I'll put a link down below. You just need to say what the event is, when it is, the postcode, who we need to contact, etc. So there we go. If you have any trouble with the form, just send me an email with the basic details. Okay, that's great. So if there's no teaching happening at your club, you need to ask yourself, is there a nearby teacher that you can promote? Because teaching is the primary way that we bring new players into this wonderful game. So if you're not teaching, perhaps you could find an alternative nearby. And if there is no alternative nearby, maybe identify a good online teaching solution. We can help you. So if you get in touch with us, we can see what we can do. Right, so we identify the autumn beginner classes, we promote them nationally. Then we share digital assets for clubs to use. So Sam's been creating some beautiful things that we can share with you for you to promote your classes and your open days and what have you. Sam's going to go through that shortly, so I'll leave that for now. The next thing that we've been doing is developing a new microsite. One problem that the EBU has, and bridge clubs and counties, is that we're all talking to existing bridge players mainly. What about the new to bridge audiences? You know, somebody who's heard about it from a friend at the golf club, someone who's looking for a new hobby, someone that just retired or is about to retire. So what have we got that can talk to those audiences in a simple way? Well, we've created a simple microsite aimed, and this is where we're up to with it. We're using this as a landing page, or we will be using this as a landing page for Google Ads and for other interactions with new to bridge audiences. So this microsite will redirect onto a relevant section of your club website. So if you've got a class starting, put a page up about it on your website, and I can link directly to that. Yeah, So that's the microsite. Now, where are we up to? Share digital, develop the microsite, experiment with Facebook pay-per-click advertising to promote specific classes. So we've been having a play with Facebook advertising to see how this could work to help clubs to promote important times in the diary. And I would say the start of the beginner class should be the most important date in a club's diary. And everybody should be on board with promoting that. Anyway, we've been using Facebook to experiment with that, and we've created a few ads for some clubs. That one's for Sheffield. We've done an ad for Cambridge. We've done an ad for Barnstable in Devon, a couple of others. So the reason we're doing this is we're doing the learning so that you don't have to. So if and when you want to throw a little bit of money to make sure to top up that beginner class, so say you're I don't know 80% full, but you have space for another couple of learners, that's the time to throw a little bit of money at it. Make sure it starts full. Yeah, so there we go. That's this. We're developing a system that you can then plug into. That's the idea, anyway. Right. So lastly, as I've been talking to you and to counties, I've been gathering ideas of things that have worked for you in promoting your classes. Obviously, the most important one is word of mouth, and encouraging that in every way you can think of is great. I've developed an ideas bank to plonk everything in. So if you've got a good idea, something that's worked for you in the past, let me know about it. I'll put it in here and I'll share a link to this. I'm afraid it's still scruffy and there are bound to be typos in there, but let's not worry about that. If you can send me the ideas, I'll make sure that they're shared with everybody else. Yeah, we can help each other. So that was it. That's me, Mary Cousins. Do get in touch if I can help you. I will certainly try. I'm primarily working with counties to support their clubs, but try me. Yeah. Okay, that's all from me. I'll stop sharing.
Thank you very much, Mary. That's great. There will be an opportunity for questions at the end of the whole thing, but if there are any that are really urgent and need to be asked right now, then let us know. Otherwise, we'll save them for the end. And the next person we have on the agenda is Sam Kelly, who's going to talk about Canva, getting set up with Canva, which is a software for creating various assets, and she will tell us more about that. So, Sam.
Thank you, Gordon. Yes, good morning all. So, as Mary mentioned, I've been working on creating an archive or a library of templates that we can use and share with you all so you can promote your club. I have put them on the EBU website. If you go to the clubs and counties section under promotional materials, we have a new section here, templates for Canva. Now, if you haven't heard of Canva or you don't know what it is, it's a user-friendly graphic design platform that helps you create posters, postcards, social media graphics, presentations, or any other promotional materials that you can think of. It's a really easy, intuitive platform to use. It's very beginner friendly. It has design templates and graphics to help inspire you to create fabulous eye-catching designs, and we've been using it for the past year or so now. You will need a Canva account to get set up. There are free or paid for pro accounts. We have a pro account, but what we would suggest for clubs is to just set up a free account for now. If your club is a charity, you may also be eligible for one of the Canva not-for-profit accounts. So to create your Canva account, there's multiple ways you can sign up with an email address, with your Google account or your Facebook account. what I will do is I'll create a how-to guide. It's very simple, but I'll create a how-to guide that will show you how to set up a Canva account, and then I will link it in this Canva section as well. Once you have your Canva account, if you come here, at the moment we've just got the one Canva template, but we are looking to create more. So if you click on Canva template, and then we've created this poster for you. This one is created specifically for use on Facebook, but we can create them all sizes, shapes. If you click Edit Template, and it'll take you through into your Canva page. As you can see, as you move around the page, it'll highlight the different sections, and all these sections you're able to edit. So you can go in, if you don't like the title, you can go in and change it. You know, if you wanted to put your details here, just click on where you want to change it, and then add those details in. If you want to use a different font, if you don't like the font we've used, if you click on it, and then up at the top here, it's got, currently it's Open Sans, but as you can see, it's got all different recommended popular fonts, recently used fonts, and you can change all, or you can just change parts that you've highlighted. You can also change the color of the text as well. So if you highlight the text and you don't like the current color, currently it's black. If you wanted it green, doesn't look very good there, but you know, you could change it to whatever color you wanted. It's only got a couple of colors there, but if you click here, default solid colors, and then click see all, it gives you a very wide range of different colors that you can use. You can also put your own logo here if you wanted to. And then also you could add a new photo. We've just chosen this photo. But what you will have is over on the left here, an uploads file. So you click over onto here. If you wanted to upload your own photo from your own club, click upload files, and then it will have open your files folder on your computer, and you can find the file there, click upload, and it will be here. Once you've got your photo and you want to put it in place of this one or in place of another one, it's very simple. You just drag and drop. And if you hover over the other photo, it puts it in the circle for you. So it's very simple. And then if you decide, actually, I didn't like that photo, I want to undo that change or any other change, there's an undo button at the top here. And you can just undo as many changes as you want. So we've got this one, do you enjoy playing bridge, where you can change all the details. I've just put my details here for now, but obviously you can change that to your own club, the best person to contact. We recommend putting both a phone number and an email address, as well as where the event is taking place and the club website. We've got another couple of pages here just to give you a slightly different layout of the design. As you can see, you can change it as much as you want. So you can move these about. You can change, as I said, you can change the color of them. If you fancy bright pink, or if you wanted anything different on there, you can change it as you go along. You can also add different designs as well. If you felt like you were getting bold and you wanted to do a completely different design, you thought, I don't like this green swoosh down the side, I want to do something completely different. If you go to templates over on here on the side, it will give you a number of different templates. And then you can either replace the current page or add as a new page, and it will add the details in. And then you can start clicking around and changing this how to be successful, or you could change that to how to learn bridge. And then if you change the box, it will move about. You can even move the details around about the place. And then these pictures over here, if you wanted to change that for one of your own pictures, you can do so. Once you're then happy with your design and you think, okay, what are we going to do with this design? As I say, you can either put it on the Facebook advertising that Mary's been talking about, or you might want to put it as a poster in your club. Click on share over in the top right, and it'll give you some options. You will need to download the file. It'll give you options to either download it as a JPEG, PNG, or PDF. So if you're putting it on the internet, Facebook, or any other social media, we recommend downloading the details as a PNG file. That's the easiest one. If you're printing it, go for PDF printing. And then what you can do is change it from RGB to CMYK for professional printing, and that will just make sure that the colors pop a bit more. You can download all of the pages or select just the current page if you're just happy with the first page, and then click download, and your download will begin downloading. It will be in your downloads file, or you can just open it. And there you have it. Then you can use that, you can print it off, or you can use it for Facebook, or if you decided you printed it and you don't quite like it, it's once you've printed it, it's not quite right, you can come back to Canva and start again, or just slightly tweak things. So with the pictures, we've got this picture here. You see a lot of these kind of pictures in bridge clubs. We've actually got a guide for how to get great pictures to use on your website or on posters or marketing materials. So we've got some here, which shows some great pictures, what to aim for. And we've all seen the pictures where people are looking grumpy, or not necessarily grumpy, but disinterested at the bridge table, or they're concentrating hard and they're not smiling. So when taking pictures, we recommend making sure that people know you're taking the picture. People are looking at the camera, they're smiling, they're engaged. Or if they're not looking at the camera, they're still smiling and engaged. They're looking happy, looking dynamic. You've got a range of people, range of different personalities, range of different nationalities, or as much as you can. Make sure you've got good lighting, and that the backgrounds, any backgrounds that you've got, are either blurred or not cluttered. Blurred and cluttered backgrounds don't make for great marketing posters or pictures. So these are all examples of excellent photos that you can use. And then we've got some that maybe you can look here and see why they're not so good. Now, I know we've all seen these photos on our own websites. The slightly blurry photo that's not very good quality. It looks good when it's small, but then when you zoom in, it's slightly blurred. It's not so much of a problem now with the better cameras, but I would always recommend the person with the best camera or the best phone camera takes the photos. And then if you are taking a photo of the bridge room, as in the photo above, make sure that you have a focus point. Make sure that you're looking at one table of people that are looking at the screen, and it's not just a room full of disinterested people that haven't noticed that you're taking a photo. Similarly, with this photo here on the left, the lighting doesn't do any favors for the bridge room. It probably looks great when you're actually playing in the bridge room, but the lighting doesn't help there. It looks dark. So just make sure that you've got plenty of good lighting when you're taking the photos. And then again, these are just a couple more that show not very good photos, blurred pictures, and people that aren't looking don't know you're taking the photos. So yeah, that's a little short introduction about Canva and about taking photos for your club. As I say, we are looking to get more designs for you. I've just shown you one there that you can use, but we will have a small handful going forward, so you can use them. But does anyone have any questions at the moment?
Yes. Could you tell me how you spell your account? Canva. Is it C-A-M-B-E-R?
Sorry, C-A-N-V-A.
C-A-N-V-A.
Yes.
Fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I just offer one tip when it comes to photographs? Having in the long and distant past been a photographer myself, I would thoroughly recommend that people are not afraid of editing, either by cropping out all the bits that are not so interesting. There was one of the photos that you put up there that was indicated as not being so interesting, and it would have been improved if the bit that just shows the ceiling had been cropped out. And then the other thing is to lighten or darken, more often lighten things. And all computers nowadays have software that can allow you to do that. Just open the photo and click on edit, and there are lots of options. Play around and before you save it and see what improves it. But I think you'll find that many photos benefit, particularly from cropping. Don't leave lots of bits in the photo that are not relevant. That's my tip.
Thank you, Gordon. Yes.
Sam, where do we find the information about the photos bit? Where do we find that?
Sorry, which photos bit?
The bit that you were showing us about how to do good photos, where is that information?
That will be, I will put that as a link on the EBU website under promotional materials.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hiya, John Davis here, Roger Street. What's the advantage of using Canva over using PowerPoint?
Canva has a lot more tools to edit the details, and it's got set templates for you, a larger range than PowerPoint. If you're happy and you're comfortable using PowerPoint, then please do use PowerPoint. But Canva, you can change and edit both the size of the page and all of the little design flourishes. It has a vast range of templates that you can use there.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, can I? What does Canva stand for? Is it an acronym for something?
I'm not entirely sure. It's just the name of the website.
Okay.
It sounds like Canvas.
Yes, I think it's originally was an Australian website.
Okay.
Do you have any stock photos we could use?
Yes, we currently have, I should have mentioned, sorry, we currently have a small library of stock photos. We're hoping to build it into a larger library. So if any of you have any photos that you would be willing for us to use as stock photos, please email them to me and I can add them to our stock photo library. There is currently a link on the promotion materials page that links to the EBU stock photos for Bridge library.
And I have just put the link in the chat as well.
Thank you.
So just looking at the other questions in the chat, someone was, Sarah Dixon was suggesting a poster for the handicap teams. Yeah, that's definitely a good idea. We can definitely help with that.
Yeah.
Graham Cox of Neba was asking about idea of cost for Facebook ads.
It varies, obviously, depending on the number of people that reach, the number of people that click through. You only pay for whoever clicks on your ad. So there is no wasted cost. It can be as much as £20 per click through, or it could even be more than that. But we've struggled to spend more than £100 promoting a bridge event so far. But as I say, it's still in experimentation. So I can speak to you offline about that if you'd like to give me a call or send me an email.
Yes, you usually set a daily limit with Facebook. So you can set it £10, £13, £15, and Facebook will try and maximize that. It doesn't always reach that limit though.
Okay.
About that, you're talking about paying per click, Mary. Can you explain a little bit exactly what that means? Does that mean it made it sound as though you're paying £20 if somebody clicks on your advert, and I don't think that's the case, is it?
Can I hand you over to Sam, who knows much more about this than I do?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, so the amount is more about the views and the reach that your post will get. So views is how many people see your post. Hopefully all of you are familiar with Facebook, and you know you've got a Facebook feed, and you will see posts that people have put on there from your friends, your family, your groups that you're in. And then occasionally there will be adverts interspersed in your feed. So what these Facebook ads are is the ones that we pay for. And then Facebook will say, we think that we can reach, say, 30,000 people in an area around Sheffield that match your criteria. And we will try and push that out to these people. So when you look on your Facebook feed in the Sheffield area and we've said we want this advert to go out, there is a chance that that will show up in your Facebook feed because we've paid for it. So that amount of £20 per day or per week is looking at both the number of views that the post gets, and then it will also be with the click-throughs. There's different number of ways that you can have what's called a call to action on this post. So it could be redirecting someone to a website, which is the pay-per-click that Mary was talking about. If so many people click on the advert and then go to the website, Facebook will note that and then charge you accordingly. Or it could be you've put a telephone number on there and Facebook will note if someone has clicked on the advert telephone number and called. It will estimate how many people will have called during that and then charge you accordingly. Does that make sense?
It might be useful for us to do a further webinar specifically on paid advertising.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we can do that in the future.
Yes, there was another question in the chat saying, I'd like a call re Facebook ads. What is the recommended mileage and settings?
Yeah, that's what we're currently working on at the moment, where each advert we do, we're tweaking it to make sure that we're getting the best out of the Facebook algorithms. So once we know what we're doing and we got it to the best that we can, then we'll do a webinar for you and make sure that you get the best out of it.
Great, thank you very much, Sam. Next on our list, we have Harry talking about free software for clubs, and particularly for clubs that have charitable status. So, Harry, are you ready to talk to us?
Yeah, thank you. I'm just going to share my screen a moment. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. All right. Is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah. So as Gordon said, I'm going to be talking about free and discounted software that's available for clubs with charitable status. So I do appreciate that not every club is registered as a charity, so this won't apply to everyone. And this presentation will be quite short. So if your club is registered as a charity, then it's possible to get lots of software for free or at discounted rates. And there are organizations such as TechSoup that make it easy to get free or reduced software. And other companies such as Google, Microsoft, they also have their own offerings to charities. I think you often just need to like provide a registered charity number. And anyway, let's go into TechSoup. So TechSoup, they are a global platform for getting discounted software and technology for charities. So they work with tech vendors such as like Microsoft, Google, lots of well-known companies to provide software from that company for free or at a reduced rate. And so they have like on my screen, you can see they've got, this is like a screenshot of their product catalogs. This is like all the things they offer. I mean, obviously this is a website, so you can sort of like browse and there's more than this. And so that's at techsoup.uk/product-catalog. I'm sure we can put a link to that somewhere, like perhaps in the Zoom chat. And yeah, that's like very useful, especially if, like definitely if you're a charity. And so TechSoup, you can get software from them, free or reduced, such as Microsoft Office 365. So that's Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and so on. You can get a Microsoft Windows license for a reduced price. You can get Adobe Creative Cloud. So that's like lots of design software, such as Photoshop for editing images and Premiere Pro for editing videos. Yeah, I should also mention there's Google for nonprofits. So this is Google's offering to charities. Is very useful. So you can get Google ad grants. This gives up to $10,000 per month, so around £7,000 per month of free advertising credit to charities. Now, this does oversell it slightly. I think if you're a typical club and you're targeting in your local area, you're not going to get close to that limit, but it's still very generous of them to provide that for free. And there's also for like Google for nonprofits, there's also Google Workspace, which I won't go into, but that's just Google's environment. So that's probably more for like larger organizations. So, Gmail, Docs, Sheets, and so on. Yeah. And if your club isn't a charity, there's still lots of good free alternatives to most software. So you've got Canva, as mentioned before. DaVinci Resolve has a great free tier for editing videos. I mean, also I should mention for Canva specifically, there is Canva for nonprofits. They have a nonprofit tier, so that's a bit closer to their pro tier. So definitely, if you're a club, look into that. Look into TechSoup. And yeah, I think that's all I have. So thank you very much. Gordon, I think you're on mute.
Yes, sorry. Thank you very much, Harry. Are there any questions for Harry now before we move on to the next bit? Anyone got anything they want to ask him? If not, then we can move on to Jonathan talking about bridge webs, which is something that most clubs use. And Jonathan has some tips about how to make your websites make best use of it in order to look attractive. So, Jonathan.
Right, thank you. So I think it's worth mentioning that we did have a full-length webinar on this, and the recording of that is still available. And I think it was linked in the agenda, and we'll link it again later. Quite a bit of what I'm going to share is from that video. So why are websites important? Well, the website is the shop window for your bridge club. If someone searches for bridge in your area, it's hopefully going to bring them to your bridge club website. So it's the first thing that they see, and it's critical to make a really good impression. Visitors coming to the club site may well have all kinds of questions. Will they be made welcome? Is it a high standard? Is it friendly to beginners? Could they learn bridge there? Could they find a partner? When does it meet? How much does it cost? Can they come without a partner? How many tables is the club getting at the moment? Does the club look modern? Does the club look well run? So they've got loads of different questions that they're hoping to find answers to. And so it's critical that they can find that information easily and that they get a good impression. Because if a potential new player comes to the website and the website doesn't look good, or they can't find the information they want, then you may well never hear from them, and that's a potential opportunity for a new player that's been lost. So, top tips for a good website. I think the absolute number one is make sure that the information is up to date. I won't name and shame, but there are bridge clubs out there which I see quite regularly, which have still got information about COVID precautions and online bridge during COVID and so forth, which is no longer relevant. Also, if it's got information about events that have already taken place, again, that looks bad. Obviously, if it's a review, if it's talking about the event in the past, then that's good. But if it's talking about it as if it's upcoming, then that looks bad. I think another absolutely key thing, which has already been touched on, is that there needs to be information on your website about how to learn bridge. If your club is offering lessons, then that's obviously the best thing. If not, then there needs to be direction to other lessons taking place, so that people can easily find lessons and can learn. The key information needs to be available and easy to find. So if people are having to click through lots of different menus to find information, they may well just give up. So it's really important that the most important information is easily accessible on the website. And that there are details of who to contact. So it's all well and good if there are names, but there also needs to be contact details. And I think generally, although it may not make any difference, I think people generally like to have actual contact details rather than just submitting a form and it disappears off into the ether and they're not really sure if anyone has seen it. I know there is always a concern about having people's actual email addresses or phone numbers on the website because it's obviously publicly available. What we've done at Durham is Durham Bridge Club, where I'm involved, is we have a generic email address for the club that is on the website, so it is publicly available, and we don't receive large amounts of spam because of that. It forwards on to my email, and yeah, I'm not getting lots of spam because of it. Another important thing is check how the website appears on a phone. This is really important because these days many people are looking at the website on a phone rather than on a computer. So I will show you how to do that in a minute. So putting key messages above the fold is sort of the term, but basically what it means is that the most important information is available on the homepage without needing to scroll down. So as we were saying, the sort of key messages about how to learn bridge, the key information that people need should be immediately available. People's attention spans are short, so try and make articles snappy and to the point. As we've already touched on, pictures are great, but they need to be good pictures, and they need to be cropped to focus on the on the subject of whatever the photo is. And keep the web, and sort of this is going back to what I said earlier, but it is so important to keep the website updated regularly, and purge out of date information, because it will make the website look fresh, and it just gives so much a better impression when people come to it. If they can see it's being updated regularly, they'll know the club is, yeah, the club is active, and they're much more likely to want to get involved. So, as we know, Bridgewebs is it gives a structure to your website, and this can mean that lots of Bridge websites end up looking the same. That's not necessarily a bad thing, because it means people are used to navigating them to some extent, and therefore they can hopefully find the information more easily. But it can look, it doesn't always look great, and you can make, even within the Bridgewebs framework, there are ways that you can change it to make it look a bit more modern and fresh. So I'm just going to call out a couple. I'm sure there are loads of other good ones out there, but this is just a couple I was aware of. So this is the Young Chelsea Bridge Club in London. I think it's quite good. I think it looks quite fresh. Right in the middle there, you've got what's going on at the club, and that's updated every week. So that's good. That shows that they are updating it. It's obviously, that's key information if people are coming to the club because they want to know when they can come and play. That key information is right there. You've got the links to the results right there as well, which is obviously for your existing players coming to the website. That may well be what they want. And you've got on the left, obviously, you've got the normal links, information, how to find us. So I think it's quite good. And obviously you've got the up at the top left here, you've got the contact details as well. So if you do want to get in contact, that's easy to do. So I think that's quite good. Similarly, this is Oxford Bridge Club. There's lots of useful information here. They've got their learn to play bridge, lots of information about taster sessions and lessons that are going on. So that's brilliant to have that really prominent there, so that people who come to the website and are looking to learn, that information is right there for them. So again, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm just going to stop sharing. Well, I'm just going to switch what I'm sharing for a second, and I will just demonstrate what I was saying about. Do you see the Durham Bridge Club website? I'm not quite sure what I'm showing.
Yes.
Yeah, Gordon's nodding. Okay, so this is Durham Bridge Club website. It's, well, so if I demonstrate what it looks like on a phone, so what you can do on most web browsers, if you press F12 on the keyboard, it will basically emulate what it looks like on a smaller screen on your screen, so that you can see. I think that's actually a bit, I'm not sure what. Well, I think we should make it a little bit smaller. That's more like what a phone is going to be. So you can see Bridgewebs obviously normally starts with 3 columns, and once you get onto a phone, because it's smaller, it goes to 1 column. If I just come out for a second, so you can see here you've got your 3 columns, and when you go to phone mode, or once you're on a narrow screen, it just basically stacks the columns, and it goes left, middle, right. So the things that are on the right, i.e. these things, end up right at the bottom. And the way that Durham's website is laid out at the moment, the results, the links to the results are in the bottom right. So you'll see when you go onto phone, when you go onto phone, you have to scroll a very long way down to find the results. So yes, it was only sort of in looking into this for this webinar, I appreciated exactly why it's doing that. So now I can try and improve it. But I think it is a very important point. People are often wanting to look at the results, and they are often these days often trying to do it on phones. So it's important to make sure that the results are accessible, and it's also important to think about what you have on the left compared to the middle and the right, because of that's how it's going to appear on a mobile. To show you a better example, Winchester, where Tim Anderson, who used to work for the EBU, is involved. He did, actually in preparation for the webinar, when we did it as a full-length webinar, he did some updates to the Winchester website. So this is what it looks like, full screen on a computer. It's pretty good. But when he's really tried to make it look good on a phone as well. So when you go to phone setting, he's actually completely hidden the left-hand menu, which is possible with a little bit of hacking. And if you want to find out how to do it, watch the full-length webinar. But the really key links for latest results, calendar, and information are right there at the top, even on a phone. So I think that's really good. Right. So that was really all I have to say. As I say, the full-length webinar is definitely worth looking at. If you're not interested in pianola, then once it gets onto the pianola bit, you can skip over that. And then after the pianola bit, you've got Tim talking about bridge webs and how to improve your website. So just skip past the pianola bit if you're not interested in pianola. So yes. So let me just see what questions people have put in the chat. Well. Yes, I will put those. Okay, I'm just trying to respond to the questions in the chat quickly. Steve from Cheltenham was asking if my questions that I was listing are available. Will include those with the notes. Presentations are going to be available. Yes. What do we think of Pianola website? I mean, again, it gives a framework. I've not really used it very much. If you look at the full-length webinar, James Ward of Pianola talks about. He's got, as I say, about 20 minutes or half an hour in that webinar where he talks about Pianola and the benefits of Pianola and how it works. So that's definitely worth having a look at if you're interested. And then I think I can, so all the, okay, Sam's posted it, that's brilliant. I can just quickly show you, if I just share my screen again. So all the webinars, if you go to the EBU homepage and go to clubs and counties, and if you come down here to building club membership recorded webinars, and this is all the ones, this is all the ones that that have been done before, and you can find them all there. If you go onto the EBU YouTube channel, they are all in a playlist as well, so you can find them that way as well. Right. Any questions?
Everyone seems to have been well informed and understood everything, so nothing to ask. No doubt there
Well,
will be people who think of something a bit later, and I'm sure you can then contact the relevant person by email, whether it's Mary, Sam, Harry, or Jonathan, and ask what has come up. So, if there is nothing else,
Sam's
think-
going to talk about the poll.
right.
Yes. I'll just share my screen so you can all see the results of the poll. So we've had 50 responses so far. By far most popular is how to attract younger members, thoughts, discussions and resources. So that's something for us to look into. And then at 48%, we've got classroom to clubroom, improving the conversion rate. That's an ongoing evergreen topic that we can always talk about. So yes, that's not surprising that that's popular. At the same time, we've got work in developing skills in existing bridge players. So that will be looking at intermediate players and getting people comfortable playing at county level and beyond. Then we have Bridgewebs making a site appealing to new audience. It's good to see that was popular because that's what Jonathan's just been talking about. So hopefully that's covered that for a lot of people on the poll. And then some other topics that we've been asking about. So Facebook, regular fresh content. Yes, that's something that we want to look into more about. We want to be able to provide that regular fresh content that you can then just push out onto your own Facebook pages. Pay-per-click advertising. As Mary mentioned, perhaps we can go into depth on that in future. Is that something, Mary, that you think we'd be able to do once?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Google Maps, improving the club's visibility locally. So that's presumably that's not just on Google Maps, but also on Google as a whole. If you type in Learn Bridge in your area, making sure that your club is visible. But with the map specifically, if people search on the map function, I know I use it all the time for restaurants or places to go, things to do. If your bridge club pops up on the map, it's fantastic. WhatsApp for club community building as a tool for member gets member outreach. Mary, did you want to talk a little bit about that?
So this was mainly about community building within the club. So if you've got a beginner class starting, it would be good to set up a group specifically for that class so they can talk to each other, compare notes, share ideas, share lifts, find a partner if they're going into a gentle duplicate and so on. When it comes to outreach, that's, I'm sure it can be used for that as well. As can Instagram that somebody's mentioned in the chat. We will be doing more on this because I'm also hoping to explore how we can display results, for instance, on Facebook pages, because that would really generate a lot of traffic to that page and a lot of interest from the friends and family of the people that are looking up their results. So these are all little ideas that we're going to explore in more depth later. But for now, yeah, that WhatsApp was there mainly for internal use. I'm sure there are lots of applications for it externally, but yeah.
Then we've also got details about mentoring, how to use the different codes, code 12 and the appendix tables. Local press doing regular puzzles and pictures of winners, how to get those into your local newspaper or local magazine. Cafe Bridge, a detailed guide about how to set up and run Cafe Bridge events. They're always fun for the community. Teaching bridge at your child's or grandchild's school, how to get involved in that, how to set that up. Can you teach bridge for your club? We'd do a bit more of an exploration about what it's like to be a teacher or a teaching assistant to try and encourage more people to do so. Experiences with outreach to non-affiliated clubs. And then gaining volunteers from your club.
I was surprised that this was so low, that so few people said they wanted a session on it, because I've heard again and again that committees are tired. They want people to volunteer to do things, but and yet here the poll suggests that it's not an interesting topic. So anyway, we'll be guided by you. So please have a look at the poll, have a look at the questions, and submit your ideas of what we should be covering in these webinars, and we'll take that into account. So we've had 50 responses. We probably need a lot more for it to be indicative. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any final questions?
Yes, I mean, yeah, now I think we're happy to open the floor to general Q&A, and we're happy to stay on for as long as people would like to discuss or answer questions. I appreciate we are at the hour mark, so if people do need to drop off, then that's absolutely fine. And really encouraging to have such a good attendance. We've got 80 people on the call. So that's very encouraging, and we'd like to thank you all very much for attending.
And a big thank you to all our staff members and who've been involved in running it. So thank you, Sam, Mary, Jonathan, Harry.
Thank you.
Really? No questions?
Yeah, John Whitman here. I'm sorry, this is my first meeting, and so if this has been covered in the past, my apologies. But it seems to me there is one substantial group that is not addressed by any of this, and that is people returning to bridge. I was one myself who didn't play for 35 years after leaving university. I'm not the only one, because I've come across plenty of others. But how do you start to attract people who, you know, for reasons of family, work and so on, have stopped playing bridge, but then find with more time on their hands, might be tempted to return, but may not do it proactively, as I didn't, but were, you know, sort of goaded into it by a friend. Any thoughts?
Well, I would say that bridge clubs have a role to play here in making sure that they're visible on all the online platforms, on their notice boards. If you have a look at the Ideas Bank, I've mentioned a few ways in there that we can reach out to returners. I call them rusty returners. Yeah, so having very good signage outside the club saying, you know, come and join us for a taster session or an open day. Having a member gets member flyer and a protocol for following that. So encouraging every member of the bridge club to send out a little poster, a little flyer to all their friends and family. Having an active Facebook page. We can help you get set up on Facebook if you're not already, but and Instagram. So these are all ways that clubs can attract. From a national level, from a central point of view, what I'm doing over the summer is promoting the cohort of autumn beginner classes. That will also remind rusty returners that they already know how to play bridge. So maybe it'll act as a prompt to get in touch with their local club. We have on the EBU website a find a club service. So it's easy for them to find the nearest club to them. Yeah. Have I answered your question, or was it more?
Yeah, sorry, I've had a telephone call come in as I was sort of listening to you, and it sort of interfered a bit. But I just wondered if let me give you an example. I had an EBU number from when I played in the 70s, which I expect may have been lost in the midst of time. I got a new one since I started playing it. Is there anything in the EBU archives about people who used to play who don't seem to be active now?
Well, yeah, I mean, as you say, the numbers from that long ago, unfortunately, will have been lost when records were computerized. I mean, if players from that long ago want their master points added to their current record, then if they find their promotions in the back editions of the magazine, then we're always happy to add the master points back.
Well,
I mean,
sorry.
I think to your original question, I think for returners, I think it is word of mouth is going to be a big part of it, because if people are if people who are playing bridge know that their friends used to play, albeit decades ago, then as you say, I think that's the most likely way to encourage them back. If they offer to take them along to their club and partner them and then and assure them that that it doesn't matter what. I mean, they don't need to worry about getting things wrong, and they should just go and have a good evening and enjoy it. I think that's definitely the best way.
One of the things that we found helped people that used to play was having an assisted play session where people that are rusty can come along and judge their skills, see whether they need any more help, and give the confidence again to come along to the club.
Yes, I think you need that. I was worried I wouldn't be able to tell the red cards from the black cards, but fortunately moved on from that.
I could add assisted play session to my list of events that are happening. That's a good idea. Thank you.
Mary, can I just bring up one point, if I may?
Of course.
Richard Jeffcott, Worcestershire. Our biggest problem is the unaffiliated clubs.
That's a whole other topic. Now,
if the EBU is going to thrive and survive, it needs new members, obviously.
Yeah. Okay. My concern with unaffiliated clubs is we need to get our house in order first. We need to get our offering rock solid, something that they can't refuse, and we need to understand the reasons why they're not affiliated. Once that's done, then we need to really talk to them seriously. And we need to do that at a county level, but also at a club level. Clubs need to share tips about how they've benefited from being part of the EBU, like the support that Jonathan can give, or other aspects of being members. So you're right. It is a really important topic, and it's not one that we're forgetting. It's definitely one of the top things on my mind. But I'm keeping our powder dry at the moment because we need to get our house in order first.
Good response.
I wonder if I can just say from my perspective, I think it's an area where the EBU have been absolutely supine and have done really nothing to encourage the unaffiliated clubs to join the EBU. In the area where we play, which is East Kent, I keep a list for my sins of the number of tables and the number of sessions played in clubs across East Kent. And in the month of June and May and April, 44% of all bridge tables were played in unaffiliated clubs. It's rising.
Yeah.
The number of the number of people playing bridge in unaffiliated clubs is rising. It's rising a lot.
I know.
I've raised this with a board member of the EBU, and it seems to me it is not an issue which the EBU has shown any care.
It is absolutely top of the list, my list of priorities, I can assure you.
You just said it wasn't. I'm sorry. You just said it wasn't. It's just
no,
only a few moments ago. Unless I misheard.
No,
you just
it's
said
at the
it's
top
no
of
way you
the
wouldn't
list,
intend
my
to
list
keep your
of
powder
priorities.
dry.
It's at the top of my list of priorities, but we need to get our approach right. And I would really very much value a conversation with you at some point about why these clubs are not affiliated and how we can modify our offering to make it more appealing to them. So, you know, please do get in touch with me afterwards, because I would very much value that conversation. I'm having that conversation with a number of people. And in some counties, as you say, 44% is huge. In some counties, it's even more. So it is very, very important. And yeah, you're absolutely right. We are thinking about it.
I looked not just at East Kent, but for comparison's sake, to see how Kent was doing, I looked at 6 other counties randomly selected by me across the country. And it is absolutely clear to me that the number of bridge tables being played by looking at 5 or 6 counties as well as East Kent in unaffiliated clubs accounts for over 1/3 of bridge being played in this country. And that seems to me, however much you might defend the current position, the fact that only 2/3 of bridge players actually want to play at EBU clubs would seem to suggest that very little is being done and is not being taken seriously enough at board level. That's how it comes across to me.
I've been appointed.
What are the things that you, Simon, what are the things that you think that we should have been doing that we haven't been doing?
Well, I would suggest
so I don't think anyone is actually happy with
my first comment would be for the membership personnel to visit unaffiliated clubs and to actually have sessions with them about the benefits of joining the EBU.
Okay, I have been visiting non-affiliated clubs, not to talk about the benefits, but to understand, first of all, why they've not affiliated. And that's the journey that I'm on at the moment. There's no point in approaching them with an offering that they know very well what the offering is, and they've chosen not to. Having said that, we're creating a video about the benefits of affiliation to the EBU and what it brings to bridge nationally, bridge clubs, and bridge individuals. You can smile, but this is a very serious thing, and we are tackling it. But the first thing we're doing is understanding what the situation is. Then we will approach these clubs with an offering that they can't refuse. That's the plan. I've been brought on specifically to grow membership, and one of the top thing on my list of priorities is non-affiliated clubs, because
can I make a proposal? Is that allowed?
Yes.
Okay. If you tour around the websites of all of the county bridge associations in this country, on some websites you will find a list of all clubs in the county.
Correct.
It's into 2 categories, affiliated and non-affiliated. There are other counties, like the one that we're in Kent, which does not list any of the non-affiliated clubs. So I think there's a very strong reason to list the non-affiliated clubs. The first reason is that people in affiliated clubs like ours can reach out to the unaffiliated clubs, can contact them, can talk to them, and act as ambassadors for the EBU. But of course that doesn't happen. So the first thing I would have to do is try and find where the unaffiliated clubs are. Now, in Kent alone, it is quite clear to me that Kent CBA have no idea how many unaffiliated clubs there are, where they are, and how many people are playing.
We've
Yeah, I mean,
created a list of
yeah,
all
but
those
the-
unaffiliated clubs that are on Bridgewebs. So we have a list of who, we know where they are, largely. The ones that are listed on Bridgewebs, obviously. There are
I
a
know, I've
number
seen
that
that.
are not
I've
listed.
I've gone through that list and again, that's still also, although from what I can work out, Bridgewebs holds about 85% of clubs in this country. You've still got the 15%, and of those 15%, probably virtually all of them, I would suggest, are unaffiliated clubs.
Yeah,
So,
including
we've got to
yes,
find
including the U3A. Yeah, I mean, we are thinking about this seriously. So you feel
But
very
you can't
strongly,
be.
and I would encourage you to help us.
Doubtless you will say that each county should be autonomous and make up its own decisions. But it does seem quite strange that some counties produce a list of all clubs in the county, whilst other counties don't. So from my perspective, as I said, what's my interest? My interest is the same as everybody else on this seminar, which is to grow our membership. And one way we can grow our membership isn't necessarily through teaching, though of course that helps, and through running classes. It might also be encouraging those playing in unaffiliated clubs to come and have a session with us and to come and join us. But the first thing I've got to do is track down where they are, and I can't find them all. Many I've had to find serendipitously, some through word of mouth. Yes, there is indeed, as you say, the Bridgeweb site, but that also includes clubs which no longer exist. It's not kept up to date.
Yeah, I'm working with counties on this because I do believe that you're right. It is county at the CBA level that they should be mapping out what is happening on the teaching front and what is happening with non-affiliated clubs, and that's something that I'm working with county. I've not been into speaking with Kent yet, but that's what I've been speaking with other counties about. Yeah, we do need to map that out and have that conversation together.
Thank you. Are there any more questions, or is it time to start to wrap things up? Nobody seems to be waiting right now, so thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Gordon.